Hey everyone, it is late at night and I am Norman. This is the 8th video in my 30 dress watches in 30 days challenge. And tonight we're going to be looking at a watch that I own, my 35mm Movado Museum. So this watch is kind of interesting. I was intrigued by the Movado Museum just because its minimalism was so over the top that it seemed wrong. And so I really wanted to see one in person, and I got on eBay and found one of their contemporary Movado Museums at, I believe it was 38mm, and it was brilliant. However, that watch was large. So I decided to try and track down a smaller variant. I assumed that I would be looking for ladies' versions of the Movado Museum. However, I stumbled upon what I believe is a watch from the 80s or 90s, and it is in vintage proportions. Like I said, it's 35mm, ultra thin, just a brilliant execution of the museum. And unlike the larger contemporary one, this one actually gets worn. So tonight we'll take a close look at this watch. And here is the museum. You can see the sunburst on the dial here. The contemporary ones have a black mirrored dial, which is actually kind of cool. But I don't mind this one now that I've replaced the crystal. It is tough to get a good shot of this without the light doing that. There you go. You can see the hands there. Museum watches are so great. And this size is just perfect. Look at how thin it is. 35mm. Amazing. I actually have this on a short variant Nomos shell Cordovan strap. I purchased this for the Nomos Orion when I owned it because the stock one that it came on was so long. And I purchased this from Nomos themselves. And it's starting to show its age a bit. Sadly, I do not have the Movado buckle on this because it's kind of in between, so I had to micro adjust it a bit using this one. But the Movado buckle is so cool looking. It has the museum dot right there on it, and it's kind of Art Deco style. Super cool. But this strap looks great on this watch. When I first purchased this, the crystal kind of appeared cloudy and dirty, and there were some scratches on it. So I had it replaced with a sapphire crystal, and now it looks brand new. And it truly is scratch resistant now. The etching on the case back is pretty cool. And this is a dress watch with crown guards. Interesting. I absolutely love this variant of the museum. I am keeping my eyes open for vintage ones that have the stick hands and look a bit more Bauhaus-y. And I believe those are truly vintage. This one here I believe is neo-vintage, 80s or 90s. But the ones that I'm hunting after, I think, are even older. So iconic, minimal, and brilliant. Alright, let me take off my Smith's Everest gilt dial so I can show you what the museum looks like when you're wearing it. And there it is on my 7-inch wrist. My wrist is 55 millimeters wide. Look at how it hugs your wrist. So thin. That is just so much fun. And it's so minimal, it almost feels rebellious, which is, like I said, what intrigued me about them in the first place. It's like breaking the rules. Yes. I love museums. So cool. So there you have it, my amazing little vintage or neo-vintage Movado Museum. I feel like this size is absolutely perfect for this design, and I love me some minimalism. Now that it has a sapphire crystal on it, perfect. Thanks for watching.